This is the Sacred Business Podcast, a show for spiritual women identifying entrepreneurs and leaders. I am Sora Suriano. On this show, you'll meet inspiring guests, get some business tips, experience sacred practices, and listen to my personal lessons as a business owner. As a transformational business coach, powerful medicine woman, inspirational speaker, fire igniter, heart whisperer, and world traveler, I've helped hundreds of women around the world heal their stories and transform their sacred businesses. It's time for us to claim our rightful and equitable place in entrepreneurship through scaling our business efforts. You are worthy, divine sister. Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Sacred Business Podcast. Today we're going to move through the 15 traits of a wildly successful entrepreneur. And to make it easier, I'm going to list them out first. So if you'd like to write them down, and then we'll go through them in a deeper way. And truly, there is magic that occurs when we really tap into understanding them a little bit further. So here we go. Here are the 15 traits for you to embody to be a wildly successful entrepreneur. Number 1, be filled with desire and passion. Number 2, thrive on uncertainty. Number 3, be determined and resilient. Number 4, can you be a sovereign spiritual woman? Number 5, show confidence and courage. Number 6, value the sacred masculine and the bottom line. Value finances. Number 7, be a creative thinker and a brilliant problem solver, knowing that there's endless possibilities outside of the box and the framework that you think you are working in. Number 8, value deep connection. Trait number 9, see opportunities everywhere. Number 10, love business concepts and receiving support. Number 11, find stillness. 12, be open to playing every day. 13, find time to be introspective and reflective. Number 14, be devoted to sacred practices. And last but not least, number 15, celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. So trait number 1, be filled with desire and passion. Let's get real, are you absolutely passionate about the work that you do? Do you desire to wake up every day and actually do your work? Are you so deeply in love with your business that you would literally wake up in the middle of the night with excitement and be, yes, I'm working on your business? So having a business is like having a long-term relationship, which means there are going to be times where you're so in love and there are going to be moments where it feels a little prickly. When it gets challenging, you must be able to tap into your original, profound, deep sense of love and passion and desire to help fuel you so that you stay true on your path. So if you listen to any brilliant entrepreneur, they'll tell you that it's gotten hard at times before it gets easier, that there's these ebbs and flows that absolutely happen, and that even the most successful entrepreneurs out there who have even sold their businesses, they will say that there were moments where it got really, really scary, even if the perception was that they were doing well. They chose to be all in with their commitment to their business, even when they didn't know how they were going to, for example, pay their bills, right? So often I see so many of my sisters in the entrepreneurial world give up at this particular moment when it feels too hard, when they believe that it is a sign from the universe that possibly they're not supposed to do this anymore. But truly, if you can put words and feelings to your vision and your mission as to why you're here spreading the good message and the medicine throughout your community and why you have your business, then your faith will not waver. There will be moments where it feels like nothing is happening, but I guarantee that right on the other side of that, there are miracles on that other side of that challenge. And so I'd love for you to begin to really feel that. I currently understand what that looks like, and I'm actually starting to be on the other side of it. And so for the past year, I've been going through some major upheavals, and it's because I said yes to expanding my business. And so I've gone through random audits, and I have felt like I was dying, literally dying inside with this initiation. And I have cried, I have moaned, I've wondered if I should quit. I've compared myself to others for sure, wondering why it is that other people get to be graced with such blessings and have thriving, abundant, financially supportive businesses, and I do not. And I would wish that my problems would go away. And so it's definitely tested my worth and the value of my business. And what I have noticed, though, is what it has asked for me to do is take greater responsibility of the growth of my business. It's helped me to step up and be taken seriously as a CEO of my company, and also has allowed me to really see from the reflections from others and to myself in my own self-validation that I'm a freaking amazing business coach, and I have a wealth of knowledge that I've hidden even from myself. And so no matter what is happening, no matter how scared sometimes I end up being, I can wake up in the middle of the night and quickly shift and say, you know what? I'm going to still continue this because I have a vision and I have a mission. And my vision is to help support spiritual women, healers, and coaches claim their equitable place in entrepreneurship. And so if I can do this, you can as well. So caution. What happens when you lose your desire and your passion? What happens is that you begin to very much be immersed in shiny object syndrome. You tend to start looking outside of yourself, right? You think that you need to look for new skills or certifications that will validate your worth, where really, honestly, the validation has to come from within. And so even when it looks like it's prime time to get support, you end up looking for support from someone in a way that is actually not in alignment with you. What I mean by that is you begin looking for coaches or for programs that will save you rather than finding someone that resonates with you, that will walk with you to the edges, that will be a stand for you to claim yourself and to allow you to actually grow and not stay where you are, and resonates with your values and your beliefs, but tests you, pushes you, initiates you, and activates you. You tend to not look for that because it feels scary. You tend to look for someone that would be softer and that you may be saved by, or who tells you exactly what to do. And so you give away your power. So my invitation here is to stop looking outside of yourself. If you're willing, allow there to be guides and mentors who are sovereign and who see you as sovereign, who can help you and witness you claim your medicine so that you can proudly say that you are a badass coach and a healer who is wildly successful. So number 2, trait 2, is thrive on uncertainty. The truth is, being a business owner means that you will never have certainty. You'll never have certainty, sisters. An entrepreneur loves actually the exhilarating ride of the unknown. And you're never going to want to go back to, let's say, an office job or a place that's safe that is not about risk-taking, where you are a cookie-cutter employee. And the reason is because when you feel the taste of your own ownership, of your medicine, of the choices that you get to make, of the unknown, and realize how exhilarating it is, it's really hard to go back. So, for example, let's take this outside of business and let's see, okay? Have you ever traveled alone or gone backpacking throughout countries that feel so far away from your hometown? Have you ever tried new food and witnessed yourself having these feelings because of the delicious taste explosion in your mouth? Have you ever said yes to something without knowing all the details or planning it out at all and realizing there was no freaking way that you could have planned out what ended up being one of the most monumental experiences? So, for example, I would go backpacking across different areas all over the world. And I wouldn't have a plan. I didn't have a set itinerary, and I would just trust in going with the flow. And for me, that felt super easy. It felt easy to be able to trust in whatever it was supposed to happen. And I would meet great people. I would find great locations to stay at. I would have immense amount of fun exploring different cities. And it was so exhilarating because I was basically living in uncertainty every moment of that day. Now, during this time of travel, I would try new food. And same idea, if you've never had something, you don't know what it's going to taste like. Therefore, you don't have any expectation of what it's going to be. And so when you have no expectation, your mind is blown because you have this unsatiable appetite of wanting to see how your mind and your body will be blown away by this thing. And it happens with food. So you try something and you're like, oh my goodness, that is not what I expected. And either you'll be like a yes, that was amazing, or no, I don't actually ever want to taste that again. But there's a definitive thing that happens in your body. The same thing can happen in your business if you allow it to. And so remember, planning is great. Having set understandings of the ebb and flow, but the uncertainty is what's going to bring monumental magic. So love the thrill of the unexpected and be a yes to life's gifts of new experiences. And you as a coach and a healer in your business can do this as well. Going on a wild ride ultimately lands you in being a wild, successful entrepreneur. My business grew because I took risks. I traveled without a plan. I tried new offerings and strategies. I said yes to opportunities. I was open to new opportunities. And they at times brought huge lessons that I needed to learn because they were a bit challenging and was needed for the growth of myself and my business. And other times I was graced with blessings that allowed me to scale and expand and find the next evolution of my business. But being a yes to uncertainty is what caused that. And so, dear sister, if you are currently stuck in the inability to make a decision, or you're overthinking, or you're drowning in perfectionism, or you're playing it safe, then you are currently not embodying uncertainty. One of the solutions to this problem is to be a wildly successful coach and healer by not doing things alone, but rather allowing your community to help you on this journey and celebrate the fact that you are in this uncertainty. Trait number 3, determined and resilient. So how often, let's get real here, how often do you start looking for a full-time job? Come on. Ever scour all the job sites looking for the perfect job that will remove you from the intensity and the hell of what you are currently living in as a business owner, as a healer and a coach? How often are you under the covers, waiting and giving up hope? You are full in your drama queen, acting out the sense of hopelessness so that you are thinking that you could win the Oscar for the dramatic scenario that you have just created for yourself. You also sneak a look at the mirror with your tears covered all over your face with much satisfaction that you look like you are dying and that everything has become a shitstorm. And you're doing this while also eating an entire bar of chocolate. So I get it, my loves. And if you aren't doing this at least once a month, then I highly suggest you do it. I just did this the other week, no joke. And I looked for location independent jobs. I played with my strengths as a curriculum builder and a teacher and through my coaching skills. I had a list of 8 job opportunities that looked fabulous, by the way. And I was considering writing cover letters for each of them. But then when I started to think about cover letters, I was like, oh gosh, that seems overwhelming. So I took a step back. I spoke to my mentors. I sat by my altar. I spoke to my sisters, and I allowed the tears of overwhelm and dissatisfaction to come through me as I cuddled with my husband. So being on my mood during that time also didn't help. It exasperated the symptoms. And so I knew that was going to happen because I needed to feel the death process in order for me to be able to go back to the light. And so I knew I couldn't actually do anything at this moment. I wasn't going to take action. I was rather going to reflect, emotionally and energetically die, and then be reborn again. And literally the next day, I felt better and I felt stronger and more settled with myself to move forward. So yes, I believe as business owners, we go through this at least once a month, if not more. And typically it does coincide with my luteal cycle before I menstruate. And then that first day of menstruation, I start to feel a bit of release. I would even be bold to say that most widely successful entrepreneurs might go through this pretty often enough that it becomes therapeutical. And so if you aren't there, I really do suggest that you go through this experience. But here's the thing. Can you move through this and get yourself out of it? Can you see a new day and feel a sense of renewal and new hope and feel energized to start again? Can you whip off the covers the next day, stand up, beginning singing on the top of your lungs, and truly feel like you are a freaking rock star and that you've got this? You wonder who that creature was that day before, because now you are strutting back to the computer and you are getting shit done. You are resilient, my love. You are determined and you are resilient. As a spiritual woman, you have gone through so much. I'm going to say that again. Each of you have gone through so much in your lifetime already, and you've overcome so many obstacles. You are determined. You have a vision that is coming to life. So remember, if you can move through all the things that you've moved through in your life before, you can move through this. Now, caution. If you're currently considering closing down your business, or you've decided not to work within your business because there's a sign that it's not in alignment, I encourage you to consider to simply create a greater foundation. I say if you are struggling financially, please find the opportunities that will help you to not struggle and not stay in fear. And while you're doing that, maybe possibly not close shop, but maybe take a moment to create a stronger foundation. Understanding business strategies that create strong foundations will help you with long-term commitment and long-term strategy, because the growth of your business is actually a long-term investment, not just a short-term one-hit wonder success story. So it's knowing your vision that will help you stay determined and resilient. So trait number 4, sovereign spiritual woman. You confidently make choices in honor of yourself and your business. You are taking time to truly claim your values so that your boundaries are strong, keeping yourself feeling fulfilled and grounded when it comes to working on your business. You know that there's wisdom that the Great Mother requires you to share, and so you are not going to let anything stop you. But here's the thing, you must know your vision. You must know your values. What are your values? Because that will create the strong boundaries. You are constantly a sacred observer, meaning that you see your humanness. You're fully aware of your wounds. You make no excuses for them. You actively participate in your healing. You're looking to grow outside of your edges. Right? How often are you staying right inside the line instead of outside the line? And you're engaging with others so that it makes you a better person. Being a sovereign queen is a trait of the wildly successful entrepreneur. And considering the coaches and healers that you love, notice how they are reverent, deep, rich, coated with layers of realness, right? They are real and authentic and true in the way in which they present themselves and their persona out in the world. So caution. If you're currently, right, let's get real here. If you're currently obsessing over what you don't have, in your mind, your ego is still ticking off the boxes of the things you don't have, the things that you haven't achieved by now, and you are consumed by comparison, and you are paralyzed from it. And that due to this evil culprit called Instagram, that right now you feel as if you are nobody. I'm going to help you out here, sister, and say, put the phone down. If you find you're consumed with jealousy for the success of other healers and coaches, even those that are friends of yours, and you desire to have a tantrum, then I give you full permission to go full on crazy tantrum inside your sacred space for a certain amount of time. The only criteria is that you come back, You breathe, you find your center within 24 hours. And then you call a sister and then a mentor, and you share your personal experience of how you are feeling, and that also how you are desiring to release this so that you honor that you are feeling like a victim and you'd like to see yourself as the observer, and then take sovereign steps so that you feel your reverence again. Again, I feel jealousy and shame and despair and desires to be a victim all the time as well. It's a human experience. How could you not, especially with social media highlighting all of the good things that we don't have in our particular life? The key, though, here is not to stay in the place, but to remember that you can observe your victimhood. And by doing so, you can start seeing how this is an illusion that is playing on loop and on constant feedback over and over again, and it is not serving you. Honor the human emotions, but then shift them so that you're feeling the true underlying pain of what's actually happening. Because the jealousy and the shame and the despair underneath that could be loneliness. It could be a sense and feeling of abandonment. It could be one of your stories around worthiness or imperfection, or inadequacy, or feeling powerless, non-existent, or even feeling lack of love. And so by understanding the core wound, you're able to truly see where you are being swept away by the pain. And instead of actually dealing with the pain, what you're doing is creating this perpetual loop that isn't serving, which prevents your suffering from moving into acceptance, gratitude, and then harmony. So honor the tantrum, sister. Witness the victimhood. Listen to someone who's been through this, like your mentors, and receive a warm virtual hug from the sisters around that are part of your entrepreneurial community. Trait number 5, courage and confidence. Okay, so I'm going to tell it to you real. Confidence and courage doesn't magically appear from only doing internal work. Okay? Sitting in your meditation cave, visualizing yourself being confident and speaking your truth and having courage to take action can only get you so far. I get that your ego is having a field day and everything in you, your brain is telling your body to freeze up. And it's telling you things like, if you do a Facebook Live, you're going to be burned at the stakes. If you dare to increase your price, you're worthless and piece of shit. No one's going to say yes to you. There's no way that anyone's going to enroll in your program, so why bother sharing it? Because there's so many other great programs out there, so don't promote it. Or, being the only one in love and light is going to help you because if you work through your shadows, it's so scary and you might physically die, so don't go there. Or investing in yourself and your business is only going to bring you more struggle. So why don't you just pay for little things or the free things and not actually invest? Because God knows if you actually invest, it means you're going to have to show up, and that's scary. Or, hey, sisterhood just brings heartache. So don't even try to be part of a community. Make sure that you're only half in and half out so that you can run when things get serious, right? So part of you might be thinking, Sora, this is harsh. Like, why would you say that? And at the same time, I'd like for you to take a moment. I challenge you to sit there and actually listen to what your ego says. Because I guarantee that your ego says uglier things that I have just said. And so here's where we get to move through the fears and be wildly successful entrepreneurs. And the way we do it is even when our ego says all of this, you still just do it. You get up and you just do it. You disrupt your mind. And when you disrupt your mind and actually take action no matter what she says, all of a sudden you're in the clear. And you build this muscle of confidence and courage. I was having a conversation with a sister the other day, and she was literally pulling at her hair, because she was on the screen tugging at her hair, because her group was currently perpetuating this conversation around making excuses so that they weren't doing the things that they needed to do within their business. And it was coming from a place of fear. And so they were playing the what if game. Have you ever played that? Well, if I do this, what if that happens? If I put this out there, what if no one says yes? If I say this, what if someone tells me that they think I'm wrong? And so whatever happens here, you are now just perpetuating this what if cycle. What if no one comes? What if there is something that someone doesn't like? What if it doesn't work? Blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. When you are confident, then you can be courageous, be bold, be sovereign. And the more you do this, the more you do the things that you're scared of, the more confidence you build. So caution. If you're currently making all the excuses, struck with tall poppy syndrome or binging on Netflix because you don't want to do the hard thing, stop it. I lovingly, but very clearly and adamantly am saying, stop it. Stop it. Business can be hard, but in the most magical way. So, for example, I had an experience where for, I believe it was 10 days, I trekked up Mount Kilimanjaro, which is borders between Kenya and Tanzania. And it is a huge hike. It is the largest mountain in Africa. And it was over, I think, like 18,000 feet. And one of the things that I noticed when I was trekking this, because I summited, I got all the way to the top and back, baby. I did it. And here's the thing. It was about taking one step at a time. And at every given moment, because you were trekking about 8 hours a day, you'd be going up and down the mountain due to altitude. And there were times my mind would say to me, just stop. You need to take a break. You can't continue. There's no way you're going to get to the top. But because I was with an incredible group, we all made it. Typically, only 1 out of 3 in a group makes it up to Kilimanjaro. We all made it. And the reason being is because we took bold action. We continued as a community. No person was ever left behind. And I boldly and courageously said, I'm going to do this no matter what my mind says. I know my body can do this if I have will. And when you do these types of things, you see the world from a view that is unimaginable because you have now touched God. You have touched grace. And it is hard to feel this good. And there are times when you feel this good, you immediately want to do something so that you no longer feel this good. And so allow yourself to feel and embrace the depth of reaching the connection to God. Number 6, value the sacred masculine and the bottom line. Sister, how many of you are traumatized by your careers in corporate or by the way in which you were brought up or the stories that were shared with you? As we enter the spiritual world, when we reconnect with our divine feminine, we feel like we have been liberated by the shackles of the patriarchy. And we say in this unsaid vow that we will let go of all things masculine, that we will let go of all things that feel out of integrity. And we find ourselves repulsed by logic and reasoning and data and measurable tools. It feels like we're being caged in. And I get it. And we are both yin and yang. We have divine feminine and sacred masculine within ourselves. We are a child of duality, and instead of polarizing ourselves, what if we found a way to create harmony with all parts of us? The divine feminine meeting the sacred masculine in a powerful dance that ripples in the night sky, creating explosions of stars, because this is who we are. This. And so, financial spreadsheets, storytelling through forecasting of numbers, creating structures and systems within our business, having a process and protocol for our team and for our clients, organizing through project management tools, synthesizing quantitative and qualitative data can be potent, it can be effective, and it could be widely fucking sexy. About a month ago, I had an accelerator class where I was given an assignment to really begin to create and sustain a financial spreadsheet where I look at my expenses, my revenue, and my forecasting of the next 18 months. And at first I was so resistant because I had to look up all my bank statements, go through my QuickBooks, do all of these different things. And I made all these excuses about how all of this other stuff in my business takes priority over that. But when I finally sat down and I started to do it, here's the thing. It was freaking so much fun. I loved every single moment of it. I forgot that this was a skill that I used in my previous career in Gap Corporate when I used to do financial forecasting for retail. And I was good at it. And people would seek after me. I was being fought after to have a placement in finance in the company. And so by taking control of finances and understanding where I was heading within my business, I saw possible growth. I saw where scaling could be apparent. I felt unstoppable and wise and intentional. And my business now has legs and she has places she's going. And so I want you to feel the same within your business. So caution. If you're currently pretending to be useless at this, stop it. You're not useless. It's time to take responsibility and say, I'm going to learn how to do this. I know I can do this. If I can do these other things, I can figure this out. It's time to take yourself and your business seriously. As a parent, you don't release responsibilities about your children. You don't say, I'm not very good at this, so can someone else take care of it? Right? Can someone else raise my kids? You don't say, I'm not good with scheduling their life, so I'm not going to look to make sure that they are on time for school or that their payment for their class trip isn't taken care of. You don't look at your life and say, I'm going to stop paying the bills and I'm not going to take my dog to get her annual checkup, right? You take the responsibility. You feed yourself. You get yourself on places on time. You know how to do this, so you can also do this for your finances. You can figure anything out, even if you think it's not fun, and shift your perspective and your mindset so that it is fun. It's time to be responsible, and this is a non-negotiable. Okay, trait number 7. Creative thinker and a brilliant problem solver. There are moments within your business when we lay on the floor pleading with Mother Earth to take us from this journey. It feels like if she can just swallow us up, there will be no need to continue trying so hard to build a business. And during this time, if we allow ourselves to feel all the feelings and go there will be a moment, a pivotal one, when we let go of caring so much of our failure, because to be honest, when you want to give up, it's because you feel like you failed. So when you stop caring about your failures and you begin to be held in that liminal space of the sacred stillness and you just be present, it is here that we get to see through the haze and find ourselves open to creative ideas and innovative solutions. We find ourselves, we reunite and remember who we are. And we are smart, we are intelligent, we are imaginative, we are brilliant, and we find hope and we begin a new day. Remember, you're resourceful. Therefore, there's no problem you cannot tackle and solve through ingenuity and creative thinking. You've read so many books. You've talked to so many people, right? You have had so many experiences. Be mentored by wildly successful entrepreneurs through TED Talks, podcasts, articles, read books. Join a mastermind. Find circles in your local community. Go to free workshops. Do as much as you can to then be at this vibration where ingenuity, innovation, and creative matches the vibration of the unconventional. Be on the fringe and then find unlimited possibilities. Now, caution. If you're currently way too caught up in trying to be like everyone else, whether it's through branding, through the words that you're sharing, through the programs that you're doing, if it feels generic, then it's time for you to stop doing that. If you and your community are always saying the same things over and over again, and you're noticing that what you're saying is what you remember your mentor saying 2 weeks ago, and that basically you're just all gelling into being the same type of person, do you really think that your work will evolve if you are not particularly fierce and unique in your own soul's identity? There needs to be a diversity. There needs to be you embracing your medicine for who you are and not just what you put out. You are powerful and you're valuable if you find your unique position in the world of spirituality as a healer and a coach. So be different, be bold, be disruptive, be you. Trait number 8, value deep connection. We often hide behind our computer screen. We make excuses due to being introverted, highly empathic, on our moon, deep in the cycle of winter, or blame the town that we live in for not understanding us and for us not having community. And I'm going to call bullshit on this. I'm going to call bullshit on me because I've been there. I've done this. There are always good people around us. And even if they're not into the same thing as us, there's so much we can learn from one another. There are great small business support systems and local thriving entrepreneurial hubs in your local areas if you just go and look for them. There are networking events and meetups and other events that could actually be fun if you shift your perspective. Now, often there might be, especially if you're in certain towns where entrepreneurship isn't a huge thing, or you find that maybe your spiritual practices aren't very much in alignment with others, I get it. And there's still a way for you to go and see and feel what is the culture and the environment of what is around you. And then therefore, then you can begin to notice where can you meet them? Where can you provide some resources? Where can you create experiences to help invite these community members and meet them where you are at? And so therefore co-creating a new paradigm together. So therefore, remember, it's not about only immediately changing the old ways of what people are doing, but understanding where they are, understanding what you are a stand for, and then understanding what you are willing to be present with to change. What if you went to a networking event to practice your invitation, even though this networking event isn't really all that it's, all that you really want it to be? But what if you went there specifically to practice, right? What if you went to a pitch event and you practiced your powerful statement? What if you went to your local wine and painting event to meet new friends and have new conversations? What if your world expanded rather than shrunk into the interactions that you had over the phone? By the way, deep connection also means creating a deep connection to Mother Earth. And so go outside, enjoy the tranquility of being with her children without your phone or other distractions. Maybe it's not always about making Instagrammable moments, but rather making inner moments that will satiate your internal system. Now, caution, if you are currently spending way too much on screen time, making connections or feeling overwhelmed by needing to work constantly on your laptop, right? Stop, breathe, and walk away. It's time to take a break and live life. I say this with urgency here. So, if you need support, so that you don't get close to burnout and that you're not consumed by being in front of the computer and that you're actually engaging with other people and living life outside. If you need some support, remember, #help a sister out. All right, trait number 9, be aware of opportunities. There's so many opportunities out there for you, sister, and I just wish that you were willing to see them. Some will feel like a stretch, and it's those that provide incredible lessons that your mind couldn't even imagine. By being a yes to growth opportunities, you begin to see how the initiations that come with them help you not only be strong and more wildly successful, but it helps you fine-tune your skills as a coach and a healer. These profound experiences help you break down your particular way of moving through life transitions by being willing to see and unpack. You get to witness your unique process and system for transformation. Be a yes to growth by taking the leap of faith and going past your edges. Be a yes to any unseen opportunities, not by seeking them out, but by willing to be open to having them present itself. Now, caution, if you're currently doing a lot of inner work, but not actually taking time to uncover the transformational process that got you from A to Z, you're missing a huge learning opportunity that would impact your clients in a massive way. When you're moving through your internal wounds in your system and you come out on the other side, there's a cosmic energetic system, a soul protocol, a heart-led process that you have had to have created that was required within your human experience for ascension. And you can then use that and cultivate it and then hold that key learning to be a way to help your clients progress into their ascension. So, know what that is. Trait number 10, love business concepts and receive support. Okay, after fighting it for so long, when I finally said yes to being mentored in the finer understanding of business and business concepts, legitimately feeling like I was getting an MBA, I can't tell you how much it changed everything. Honestly, I took myself so much more seriously. I said yes to the growth of my business. I could articulate things that I couldn't articulate before, and I felt confident that I had the resources to do anything in my business, and that not only did I take myself seriously, other people could take myself seriously. Receiving support meant that I could speak candidly to others, wildly successful entrepreneurs, and speak about my struggles and my learnings and things that no one else may understand. And so be able to do that not only with coaches or healers or people in the spiritual community, but in the wider mainstream entrepreneurial community with both men and women, I was able to then grasp and understand stories of failures that turned into success and candid understandings about business from so many different types of people and different business owners that it was mind-blowing, and it gave me the opportunity to see what's possible. So at the end of the day, I was starting to embrace myself as a serious entrepreneur. And therefore I didn't have to fight it anymore. I love ebb and flows. I love highs and lows. I love the unexpected. I love doing well, but honestly, I also really love finding the challenges because it means that I'm constantly on a quest, and this quest exhilarates me. And when I'm faced with struggle, when I'm faced with obstacles, I know that I can harness my inner strength and make anything possible. And you can too. So, learn business concepts. Understand them so you can make conscious, intentional choices based on reason and intuition. You don't need to go to business school or get your MBA, but learning about business from a mentor who actually understands business concepts and not just the spiritual energetic system and not just the whole spiritual business jargon is actually truly important to growing your business. Now, caution. If you are currently complaining about where you are in your business, but you're not making any changes. So if you're saying to yourself, I should really do this. I know I haven't done that. At some point, I really want to do this. I really need to focus. Then the victimhood needs to just stop. You need to stop just saying that you're going to do something and do it. I often see sisters know that there are inner changes as well as business changes that need to occur, and they don't do it. Or they'll do the inner changes, but they won't do the business changes. And you do it because you're comfortable with where you are. Even if it's a struggle, you're comfortable with knowing what that looks like. And it's time for you to shift and to pivot. If you no longer desire to stay stagnant, then it's time to make a decision. It comes down to choosing you and your business rather than choosing your old paradigm and your victimhood. Okay. Trait number 11, enjoy finding stillness. Oh, sister, our minds need a break, don't they? Our minds work so hard to support us, and I believe that our mind needs a little vacation once in a while, at least once a day. For entrepreneurs, it can be super hard to not be on and press pause on our go attitude. So cease and resist working for at least 10 minutes every 30 to 50 minutes of work that you do. So take a break, get up, walk around, do something, and then come back. Caution. If you're currently feeling like the roadrunner and you are actually not knowing how to stop, and you're pushing through all the brakes and you're spinning out of control and you think your break is looking and watching something on Netflix, I'm going to say, let's take an easy step and pause and just breathe with me for a second. Inhale. Exhale. Here's a couple of things that you can do. You can simply go for a walk just once a day without your phone for 10 minutes. You can use an app on your phone like Calm or Headspace for 10 minutes. You can take a 10-minute break where you dance and you move your body. You can take a 10-minute break where you sit by your altar and you share from the heart whatever you're thinking or feeling. Speak your truth. I ask in the beginning if it feels really hard to take more than 10 minutes every 30 to 50 minutes, then take just 10 minutes of your day out. 10 minutes a day. Okay, trait number 12. Open to playing every day. Oh, sister, business doesn't have to be serious. Sometimes we get swept away from this idea that spirituality and business coaching and needs to be really grounded and severe and significant inner healing work, and that is serious. Well, this is true at times, but what helps with that is also weaving in immense amount of play. Laughter, seeing the world through the ends of your crazy, fun inner child, and sensing the humor of life can really liberate us because honestly, life is fucking funny. It is so funny, it's hilarious, right? So caution. If you are currently not having fun, meaning you are not laughing, finding on all the small things, unable to connect with your magic, not experiencing miracles once a day, then it's time for some serious intervention. Please invite your sacred business community to come and support you because it is time for you to go and play. Okay, trait number 13. Introspective, reflective as a wildly successful entrepreneur. We can spend so much time as business owners working in our business, doing all the things that we need to do. We find so many things to do, right? Digital marketing, writing, connecting, coaching, creative content, administrative work, so much stuff. We can spend so much time as a spiritual woman leader, healer, and priestess also. We can find time to do all the things, meditating, being in ceremony, moving our bodies, breath work, having a healing session with our 5 different healers and mentors, moving through our coursework, communing with the land, cleansing our crystals, reading the messages from our oracle decks, and so forth. There's so much we can do. And caution, if you're doing all the things for your business and all the things for your spiritual practice, you are doing and you are bypassing an important part of the process. Because for you see, all of the actual doing is simply busy work, even the spiritual practices. It can be a way for you to go deep in mindless tasks or up and out into the cosmic realm. But is it helping you to process, reflect, and integrate what you have been learning? Or are you just moving through them and not even realizing that there's a way to allow your body to become a hugely new person by allowing the integration to happen? Every day, be with yourself. Be with your emotions. Be with your feelings. Be with your ideas. And allow your fears, your dreams, your pains, your wins to all settle. Sit and be present with no expectation of what you're supposed to do, what's supposed to happen, what downloads you're supposed to get. Take 30 minutes at least every week to sit. And before you sit, list out what worked. Write out what didn't work. Make a list of what you need to know, what you need to shift, who did you connect with, who do you need to connect with, how much money did you earn, what were the possibilities that were in play, and where do you want to go next. Let it come out of your body so that you can reflect on it afterwards and then sit in silence. Okay, trait number 14. You are devoted to your sacred practices. So I spoke about being present and that your spiritual practices can be a way of bypassing your human experience. Yes, and. You also are a divinely connected mystic, priestess, and healer. Therefore, honoring your sacred practices is equally as important as working in and on your business. So I do encourage you to be your gorgeous self and flow with your medicine. Honor your way. Find your way. Not the way of your mentors, not the way of those that you love or the ways of those that you think are doing it well out in the world. Find your way. Do your work with your altar. Use sound to activate your portals. Speak with your ascended masters. Heal with the guidance of your angels. Uncover the mysteries with your ancestors. Listen to the messages from Mother Earth and her children. Find your way. I personally work with the Emerald Dragon Tablet and those that are part of the Sacred Business Mastermind. This is one of the holographic tablet tools that we use because the cosmic system has encoded lessons, but it's not a dogmatic practice. We get to feel into what feels true for us. What is your way? Lastly, 15, celebrate. Oh, dear sister, in any given moment, there are things for us to celebrate. And when we celebrate, even I celebrate that I'm going through an immense activation and it feels hard, right? I celebrate that I am going through a mourning process because my dearest, loving, amazing dog has passed and I am in it, and I celebrate that we had life together. When we celebrate, we are grateful. And when we are grateful, we are powerful. And when we are powerful, we stay true to ourselves. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the big losses. Celebrate the powerful transformations. It's time for us to stay centered and quickly build up our system's ability to celebrate and bear witness to everything as a grace of God and the Goddess. So caution, if you are uncomfortable celebrating your brilliance or finding yourself not going full on out in your celebrations, it's time to consider why. Why is it that you can celebrate others but you barely ever want to celebrate yourself? Why is it that you are staying small? Why is it that you are hiding? Why is it that you'd rather not have any emphasis on you? Why? Allow yourself to take moments to feel this, because remember, the Goddess wants us to fully embrace who we are because we are wildly successful entrepreneurs, and you have the right to claim an equitable place in entrepreneurship. So let's do this. Thanks, my love, for having this time, this long time to be with me as I go through the traits of a wildly successful entrepreneur. I want you to claim this and share with me what your experiences has been. Thanks for listening to the Sacred Business Podcast with me, Sora Suryano. If you love the show and desire to know more, check out sorasuryano.com. I would also so appreciate it if you would leave a love note, aka a review on iTunes. Now, remember, you have the power to create anything. You are able to bring forth beauty, abundance, and grace in your business and life every day while living a life that is wild, free, and calm. You are worthy, divine sister.